Hello, I want to teach you some basic beginner chess strategy. This is about attacking the castle. All right, so if you're white, you're expected to win. Open up with, I usually open up with the queen pawn. Develop my king knight. Get my bishop out there and get ready to castle. Here I did an intermediate step. I had played a game previously where I allowed the black player's queen um, knight to advance and fork my king and rooks, so I'm not going to let that happen this time. So I got to a point where I decided to move the queen bishop pawn forward, prevent that knight from getting into the fifth rank. Anyway, the fourth on my side actually, be b4. I fianchetto my bishop, and that just means I like put the bishop on g2, and I've got a very strong castle now. Now he castles on the same side, and he's already weakened his three pawns in front of his pawn chain or pawn wall in front of his king. So I'm going to attack there. So I've already got a bishop on this side. I've got a knight on this side. I've got a rook all on that side of the board. I'm going to start giving myself opportunities to attack on that side. So how do I do that? Well, first I want to advance the king pawn, the pawn on the E file. And so I'm going to want to protect that with the rook because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move my queen knight over to D2 because now it's covering the E4 square, which is where I want to put my pawn next. So now I've got two defenders on that, and so does he. That's okay. So here we go. So I'm going to attack. If he takes my pawn, I would have been able to take back with the knight and threaten his knight and his bishop. And then if he had taken back, I would have been able to take back with the rook, so I would have been up a pawn. But he doesn't. So now I move my pawn forward even more, and I fork him. So he's going to lose either his bishop or his knight, because if he captures the pawn with the bishop, I can capture his bishop with my knight. If he doesn't, I'm going to take one of those. So he's going to move his bishop back because he wants the bishop pair, apparently. And I'm going to attack his knight. Now that's key. If I can get rid of that knight that's in front of his king pawn chain, pawn wall, that's an amazing, that's the first thing I want to do and in order to attack his castle. So he takes back. Now all I have to do is put the queen in the G file, and I'll be able to check him. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on next. First, I got to get that knight out of the way, right? On the diagonal from D1 to G4, H5. But I am going to also want to use my black squared bishop to threaten that pawn that is hanging in the H file. So I'm going to move my knight out of the way so that now I have a clear diagonal from C1 to H6. I don't know why he moved his bishop there. Not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and take that pawn. So now I'm threatening his rook, so he pretty much has to move the rook or lose it. I'm going to move my knight out of the way now so that I can move my queen on the next move and threaten his check his king. He might see this coming, so he moves his knight over to protect that file, but my knight can take his knight, which it does. Now he can take back with pawn. He's covering that, so even if I move here, I'm not putting him in check, but it's still setting up the next move that I want to do. So he moves the pawn forward, which is a really good move, but I can just sidestep it with the queen. He comes forward. Now, remember, discovered checks. So I can move my bishop now out of the way anywhere I want, and I'm going to have him in check. So I basically will just get a free pawn out of this. So I take the pawn, and I can't be taken back because he has to resolve the check from the queen. So he moves out of the way. Now I can move forward and check him again because I'm protected by the bishop. He can't take the bishop because he has to get out of the way of the check from the queen. So he moves this way. Now I can check him again, and the bishop is still hanging and threatening to be captured, but can't be captured because he has to do something about the queen. He can't threaten my queen or block the queen, so he has to move. And now the bishop can just slide forward and checkmate. So that's checkmate in 22 moves, and hopefully this shows you how a relentless attack on the castle, the enemy castle, can be perpetrated and needs to be pursued relentlessly. So look for those checks, keep putting people in check. If you put your opponent in check, eventually you're going to get checkmate, and even if you don't, you're going to have usually a very advantageous position. So I hope this helps you beginners out there. I'm a beginner to intermediate player as well. Sometimes when the grandmasters explain this stuff, they're just way too advanced. So that's why I'm making these videos. If this helps you, let me know. If you're way advanced than I am, which is likely, that's fine. Tell me what I did wrong. But, because I'm always looking to improve. But these videos are more for people who are, beginner chess players. So have a great day. Take care.